Hey everybody, it's Peter from the Kia Hyundai channel. Today we're taking a look at the Hyundai Palisade Luxury model. And before you turn away, yes, the screenshot does show a very dirty car. I did intend to clean this one up a little bit more than what it was, but it's like minus a million outside and the car wash up the street is frozen because life in Canada. So that's a good thing though, because we can show you some advantages of this car, including right down here. We're gonna, I don't even know how to do that. Right down there, we'll show you some advantage of this car a little bit later, but it is clean inside or clean enough for our videos, so stay with me. Here's how this works. If you've never seen this video, our video series before, we do these live. If you want to join us live, I'll show you how to do that in just 1 second, but if you just came for the content and you're not live with us, you can skip ahead to the 3-minute mark, which is where this video will actually launch with the content. In the meantime, I'll show you how to join us. We'll talk about some news and some notes, and one of my regulars says, don't forget the key, and that was a good reminder because I almost did. I just grabbed it a second ago. All right, so here's how to join us live. Let me show you right now. Go down to our YouTube page and you just see, if you go here exactly at 2 o'clock on a weekday and you scroll down, you'll see sort of there's a placeholder video right down there. I'm going to refresh the page right now. When I do that, you will see that the live video there pops up there. You can click into that and you're going to watch a quick ad. And while we're running an ad, gonna run it. Ooh, that's kind of cool. It's got like a tiger or something. Anyways, while we're running an ad, we will talk about the 3 dealers that support this dealership or this channel. It is Brantford Kia, Brantford Hyundai, and Owen Sound Hyundai. So 2 Hyundai dealers that support this channel. And if you're looking to buy a car in Ontario, we can help you out. We can be your local dealer. There's my ad. That's the best I got. All right, so news and notes. Ioniq 5. I've been told that those deliveries, if you haven't got an order in soon by the end of the month, you will be looking at a 2023 model year vehicle. They are in high demand. EV6s, obviously you guys maybe know, I think we've sold or pre-sold now about 30 or 31 of those at this point. So same situation is gonna happen then. If we don't get orders in soon, we'll probably be moving on to a 2023 model year vehicle with that one as well. What else is going on? Came for the content originally, joined for the, yeah. Sorry, I'm laughing at some of the comments coming in. All right, Palisade's still one of your favorites. Yeah, you know what? Mine too. I really like this particular one. I didn't like it initially, but this one's kind of growing on me, so we'll talk about what's good about it. Got a Nero EV EX Premium. All right, thanks. That's they're giving me some credit for helping them with that purchase, and I appreciate that. News and notes, I'm just trying to think if there's anything else that I should be telling you guys about. A couple of you have been asking about a Sportage. I don't have any pricing on that yet, or Sportage if you're American, but we're talking about Canadian pricing on that. And in Canada, they have not announced the hybrid yet. That is something I'm expecting, but we have no information on that. So just to answer a bunch of emails today through this little news and notes section, that's what's going on there. And I think we'll leave it from there and we'll move on. We're almost at the 3-minute mark here as well. So let's jump into the content. All right, 3 minutes in. Here we go. Just real quick before I start, if you're a regular with us and you haven't hit the like button, do me a favor, hit the like button. If you are not a regular with us, hopefully I'll earn your like throughout this video. All right, like I said beforehand, this car is dirty. I'm going to show you right down here, which is one big benefit of this car, and it's easier to show when it's dirty, so we'll just take advantage and pretend like this was planned. Over here, this is your remote for the Palisade. You have lock, unlock. You have the hold for the remote start, hold for the trunk, which is a powered tailgate, and hold for the panic button, which of course sounds the horn. Those of you who wanted to know, there is a way to pop a physical key out of here. You can slide this and have a physical key, and a couple of you have reached out to me recently, and I did a number of videos that are hard to find, but this little plastic piece here can come off, and there's a key holder underneath there. I don't know if you can see it on this one. Oh, if we can get in there. Yeah, there's a little key thing underneath there. So there's a way to get to that. I have a few videos on how to do that. They might be Kia related because might have been before I started doing the Hyundai stuff. But there is a way to get in there in case you wanted to know, and we have some videos on that. All right, let's dive in. 291 horsepower, 262 foot-pounds of torque. This is a full-size 3-row SUV, and it is a full 1-2, 1-2-3, 1-2-3. So it is an 8-seat vehicle, and a lot of you guys are not always fans of those captain's chairs, and this is probably one of my favorite Palisades. I don't think you need to go to the ultimate calligraphy in order to get sort of the nice vehicle here. Now you do have one little thing that I think would be nice is the second sunroof is not on this one. You have the front sunroof, but you don't have that second panel back there. But everything else, I think this is kind of like a really nice mix of features and options, and it's about $5,000 less than the Ultimate Calligraphy, which would be the top of the line. You have this sort of sailboat, or at least I call it a sailboat kind of look to the wood trim in there. This one's the lighter interior, and we'll talk about that in just a second. But while we have the door open here, check out down here. Now this car is a little bit dirty. There's some scuffed up rubber boot marks in there. That's not chip paint or anything. But you can see how dirty this car is right here, right? So you see all this salt and grossness here. Very little of that dirt, in fact, nothing at all, is sitting there. And if I do the same thing down here, so we just saw my fingers there, I wiped down here, nothing on my fingers. Now I wipe down here and there's plenty on my fingers, right? So you can see how well this protects from the dirt. And that is a rubber seal along the bottom. The doors on the side of this car wrap around, and on a taller vehicle, to have doors that wrap around and keep the dirt on the outside and not have that bottom panel be something that gets your pants dirty, it's just a nice little feature that this car has. Several of our vehicles have this, and it's just something that's worth pointing out, and I can actually demonstrate it because, you know, the car's dirty. So down here, we showed the same sort of thing with the Telluride yesterday. Telluride and the Palisade share a lot, but they do not share where they're manufactured. They actually, this one is Korean, the Telluride is American. So you got here, same thing, two-way lumbar support, powered seat, and then you have the front extender here, which I can bring all the way in, just right here. If you're a shorter person, you may want to bring that in. If you're a taller person, it doesn't look like it spreads out a long, long ways, but if you're a taller person, this sends out a long, long ways, and it really does make a difference in seat comfort for a taller or shorter person. I'm gonna walk by my little motion sensing light here. Just bear with me for a second, try to get the light on. I've got a few vehicles in here that are just have some touch-ups, so we're leaving them in here. All right, Hyundai Palisade's got 12 speakers. Yes, it does have 12 speakers in this one. This is the Harman Kardon sound system on this one. So again, second from the top trim, we can show you in the website sort of where they're priced in the system, but second from the top. And you also have sort of the mid-level system of gauges in here, which is well done. You can see the green, green framing sort of in there. And if you look at that and you switch the drive modes here, we go to sport, it goes red. And as soon as it bounces back, there we go, it goes red there. And smart mode is more of a blue mode. So you can really tell what drive mode you're in right away without having to read that drive mode, which I think is kind of cool. We'll talk about drive modes in just a second. But yeah, this is the in-between kind of dash. So the full Palisade, unlike the Telluride, the top of the line Ultimate Calligraphy does have a digital screen here where the whole screen is digital. Lower trims have a little 3.5 inch display, but this is that 7-inch or so mid-size display in the dash, which is kind of, I think, what you want. I think it kind of gives you everything you need and nothing you don't. It does give you a live video feed when you signal left or right when the car is running, and you can see the live video feed. If somebody's in your blind spot, you have blind spot detection, but you'll also see a live video feed of down there, left side or right side. If I throw it in reverse, which I don't think I can do, so let's just use the camera button here. Come on, camera button. Oh boy. Maybe I'm put it in park. There we go. Trying to get the camera to come up. Maybe it's not going to let me do the camera unless I'm actually turn the car on. But you do have a 360 camera here, which we can go to in a second here. You've got the latest software, and to be blunt, I think Hyundai does this better with their color coding than Kia right now. They've just got some blue, a little bit more precision in the menu items in here, which I kind of like. And let's just go through and see just a couple things here. You can go to the setup here, and you can go to the vehicle, and you can control a lot of your vehicle displays in here. Now, a lot of the vehicles that have the settings in here, the 10.25-inch display screen, all of your settings are here. The Palisade Luxury is different, and I just wanted to show you that here. So you have some of your basics, drive and terrain mode. You can change the alert, the climate settings, and that kind of thing. A lot of these are pretty cool. You can just set it for auto everything pretty much. The seating, rear seat easy access. We're going to turn that off right now. Oh, that's a height access. So again, it can slide back. So we're going to turn that to off right now. So when I turn the car off, the seat will not slide back and rob us of rear legroom, but you can also have it lower. So if you're a shorter person, you can have the seat sit high. When you turn the car off, it will lower and move back, and that allows you to get in and out easier, which is just a nice little thing to have. But there are, because it's kind of a mixed older style software with newer style software, you still have some of your driver assistance settings in the dash here. So it's a little different than some of the other vehicles we have. Something like my Santa Cruz, which is just a little bit more updated than this. These driver settings would be over here. So you've got the big screen, you've got the good software, but you still keep some of the software in here, which unless you're a Kia nerd, you probably don't care. The only time it's going to matter to you is sometimes if you're looking for a setting, you may find it in the dash, and sometimes you may find it in the 10.25-inch screen that's right there. So just something to keep in mind. Convenience settings are here. There's convenience settings here and convenient settings in here, and that's where it can get a little confusing for Palisade buyers who call me and say, hey, I just need help with some stuff. And I say, it's in the convenience menu. And they're like, which one? I'm like, what do you mean, which one? Because there is a convenience menu there, which we can see. And there's also a convenience menu here, which is in the vehicle settings as well. So not a big deal, but there is a little bit of a, when old meets new, essentially. This vehicle came out before the software, and that's part of what goes on. But that doesn't mean that anything's bad here. A lot of it is quite good. So let's just talk about in general. Let's go back to here. I'd like to show you that 360 camera. We'd have to start the car. Maybe we'll do that closer to the end of the video. Overall, this screen is excellent. You have a really clear display. It's like a 1980 by 720 display or something like that. So pretty clear compared to most car areas. You guys all know about this now. I've talked about this a lot. Driver 1, Driver 2, or guest mode. I do recommend that you set it up for your individual drivers that use this car, because as you start customizing some of the safety settings, it can really change the way the car is compared to what you're maybe used to. So we talked about the stereo. Let's just pull it up here for a second here. It is kind of a cool display screen here. So you've got satellite radio, AM, FM, and when you have FM, of course, it's the HD radio as well. Quantum Logic sound is what that is. So you can really customize the sound. It's just basically fantastic sounding, and 12 speakers. So just something worth pointing out there. Coming down here, it is a true tri-zone climate system. So sometimes they have a dual zone with like a rear AC or a dual zone with rear vents and rear controls. This luxury model has the true triple zone. So you can sit there and set, let's just not sync everything together. So I can set the driver's side to, let's go 23, the passenger side to 22, and the rear passengers are complaining, so let's keep them at 26.5, and you can just customize all that there. And you'll notice that clean air system there. So I'm just going to turn this off for a second. But that clean air, where it says right there, clean air, that is a special ion filter. Now, pretty much everything has a cabin filter nowadays. So this is an ionization filter, an ion filter. Essentially, it's a maintenance-free system that can pull allergens out of the air, can pull even pollutants out of the air. As an allergy sufferer myself, when I have these cars with these clean air, these ionization filters, I do notice a difference for myself with the allergens in the air. So that's just something worth keeping in mind. That's kind of helpful. Down here, somebody said to me, oh no, I bought a Palisade and I'm really not sure about the push button gear shift here. It is different, and it takes you a couple days to get used to, and at that point you don't think about it anymore. So this doesn't bother me at all. In fact, I think there's a reason to have it on some cars. It definitely is a cleaner look over here, and I quite like it. So don't worry too much about that. The one thing people need to be aware of, though, is if you want to choose your own gears, let's say downshifting down a hill, or maybe you're towing or something, this can tow 5,000 pounds. You do have paddle shifters over here and over there, and that's how you would change your own gears. Obviously, in the Telluride we showed you yesterday, you can put it in drive, tap it to the left, and use the gear shift to change gears. This one has the paddle shifters, and that's why it has it. Let's face it, nobody needs paddle shifters for any other reason in this type of car. You're not likely to need them, but it is what it is. All right, let's talk about the drive and terrain mode. So comfort, eco, sport, and smart are your drive modes, and your terrain modes are snow, mud, and sand. If you're an American, you're going to say, wait a minute, my car doesn't have that, and you're correct. For whatever reason, they have them in Canada. I've heard it's a licensing issue with this type of system. I'm not sure if that's true, but it would make sense. And yeah, so it is something that we do have here. It customizes not just the drive modes. It can customize the way the throttle reacts. It can customize the way the all-wheel drive system works, the traction control, stability control, and a number of other systems. And it can sense, I think it's like 100 times a second, various things. It's looking at different things. So it's just a very good system for the overall traction that you're going to take this on. This is not have the odd magazine that go, oh, it's more impressive than we expected off-road, and it is, but it is designed to handle, you know, dirt roads, gravel roads, regular roads, cottage roads, camping roads, that kind of thing. And if they get snowy or muddy or sandy, you've got the drive modes to work with you, and they work very, very well in that situation. Coming down a little further, I do really like to have heated and ventilated seats. What's interesting about this particular car is it is not a black leather, so it is a lighter color, which of course doesn't get as hot in the summer, but you still have those ventilated seats as well. So 3 levels of ventilation, you can turn them down individually. 3 levels of heating, you can just hold it and turn them all off if that's what you want to do. And of course the steering wheel heater as well. So rump roasters and steering wheel or heated or ventilated seats, excuse me, and the heated steering wheel. Now I'm just going to take a quick peek. Yeah, I didn't think so. Excuse me. Oh boy, that's my lunch. That's not good. I'm fine. You don't have heated rear seats. That's what I was just trying to check there. All right, down here you have this kind of nice display. So this, of course, is a nice clean look. I said display, but I meant cover. Nice clean look. I don't think anybody is ever going to keep this closed unless you're, you know, really particular with stuff, or you've got something you want to hide from people, this kind of feels nice the way it opens. It's just got that nice soft open and opens there. And then you have the cup holders in here. There's a USB port in there. Cup holders, you're saying, where really are the cup holders? Well, you can do that and pop it out, and you can do this and pop it out. And of course, you can just put them back by pressing them around like that as well. And that opens up space for, you know, an iPad, a larger device, larger items, that kind of thing. The one thing this luxury trim doesn't have that I think they kind of missed on is it probably should have had a wireless phone charger in here. It's not the end of the world, but you do have the USB. You can hide your phone in there, and it does have wired Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, so you can put that up here on the big screen, and that makes sense. So somebody says those pop-out cup holders are so handy. Yeah, that's actually from a customer of ours and drives a Nero. So Nero uses the exact same system. I think we'll see them in the, is it the EV6 or the, I saw them at the LA Auto Show, and I think it's actually the Sportage that has them, not the EV6. So something that they're kind of moving along to different areas, and people like them. So, and then the other thing that I don't show very often or very well is you have this really large space down here, which, you know, if you're a kind of person to carry a purse, there's a lot of space there to put that, along with a 12-volt port and a USB port down there as well. So really good storage content. And then again, glove box is there is fine as well. So just quite a bit of storage up front. And as we go up, we're going to take a look over here. You do have the older style of garage door openers. The newer style on my Santa Cruz or something like that will have the buttons on the bottom. You'll have a little thicker bezel here, but you still have your not UVO Intelligence, Blue Link buttons up here. So those are to activate the cell phone app. Really what you're going to do, well, it doesn't activate the cell phone app. Those ones activate SOS, or you can call for a tow truck. Really, UVO Intelligence. I'm mixing up my Kia and Hyundai stuff. Blue Link is a cell phone app that does a lot for this, but most people use it just primarily to remote start their car with some control. You can remote start this vehicle, turn on the heated seats, the ventilated seats. You can really customize that all down to exactly what you want. Defroster, temperature set, those kind of things. So there we go. A glove box with a light. Oh, see, I never opened the glove box. Is this something we should point out more often, guys? Maybe we will. Oh, come on, camera. Glove box with a light? Yep, absolutely with a light. So there we go. I guess if that matters to you, then there you go. So it's got that. Again, we still have a single sunroof here. A lot of people think that the Palisade does not come with a sunroof on the luxury trim level just because of the way the options are worded in the website or other places. You don't have a rear sunroof, but you do have the front sunroof as well. So somebody says Blue Link allows you to turn on the rear heated seats. That's one above Kia. Yeah, so it's not that it's above the Kia app. It's the Nero, My Soul EV used to be able to turn on your heated steering wheel, but not your heated seats, which drove us nuts. The later vehicles, you can turn on your heated seats as well. So there is something in there as well. All right. So let's flip out here. You know what? Let's do this, guys. We're at 18 minutes in, 56 people on. So we've got a few less people on than normal. We should be able to easily hit 50 likes. That's only 11 likes. What? You guys can help me get there. I'm going to go take your questions. We're going to come back. We're going to take a look at the middle row seat. We might even jump into the third row seat. We'll see how it goes. We'll compare space. We'll talk about the practicality of this vehicle, and we'll move through there. One thing I want to show you just as we're jumping out here, this vehicle does have memory seats. A lot of you guys are looking for that feature, and this one does have it there right in the door. And again, there's that nice kind of wood. All right, so we're just going to walk by the motion sensor light again to get the light on, and then we'll come right back. There we go, light's turning on. And we'll take your questions, and then we'll move right back to the rear seat, or the middle row seat, maybe the rear seat, and we will take a look at some lighting as well in this video, and we'll go through your questions and make sure that we're answering whatever we can for you. All right, let's flip around here. Okay, so, oh no, the Nissan Pathfinder Platinum has got 13 speakers with their Bose audio system, and somebody said this one only has 12. I think I said this one only has 12. Does it matter? I don't know if number of speakers matters when it's one difference and it's 12 or 13. I think that's totally fine. So there we go. So I don't think that's a huge difference to most people. All right, I have some scrolly things, so I'm assuming you guys are still good with me here. Okay. So it says, like the Palisade over the Telluride because of the power third row and extra storage under the shifter. Yeah, those are good reasons to like it. They are different vehicles, so although they're based on the same platform and there's a lot of similarities, some people like the styling of one over the other. There are some practical differences between the two, so that makes some sense. All right, someone says, awesome videos always. Ordered my Santa Fe Calligraphy through Brantford Hyundai. Awesome, thanks to me. So perfect. So Santa Fe Calligraphy coming through Brantford Hyundai. There you go. That's how this works. All right. Just kind of go through questions here. Back row is maybe 3 small bottom people, not full grown. Oh, okay. So you know what? Basically, people are saying we're not sure about the size of the back third row seat, so we'll check that out today. What are the seat adjustments and controls? I did show the front seat adjustments and controls earlier, so you can scroll back in the video to see that. Let's just continue to show you the adjustments in the middle row here. So again, we showed you dirty car. We talked about that, but again, still clean where you're going to get in and out. This is kind of cool. So you've got 2 cup holders right here in the door, different sizes, which I think is nice to have. You've got the visor the window shade there that's built in, which is kind of nice as well. I really like this sort of two-tone kind of look to the vehicle. And then, of course, seat adjustments, so you can recline the seat right here, which will allow you to have more and less recline. You can move the seat forward and back as well. They are limited to height. They don't just adjust up and down like the front seats do. Let's jump in for a second, though, as we take a look. And we'll take a look at the pockets here. So again, this is a dirty seat here, right? If you've ever had kids, you're gonna have dirty seats like this. This car hasn't been cleaned the way it needs to be, obviously, as you can tell. But a wet cloth will clean this down because that is a plastic back seat. Then you have a nice pocket here, another cell phone pocket down here, and that cell phone can sit in that pocket while it's charging through the USB port in the back of the seat. If we hadn't turned off the auto climate control, actually, let's see if we can turn it on here. Yeah, there we go. There's your auto climate control. Oh, we do have rear seat heaters. I missed that. I didn't think they were on this section. I thought they were on the door. That shows how I did not do my homework today. But rear seat heaters as well. So 3 levels of seat heating, which is the same as we saw as a Telluride. The Telluride we showed yesterday was a higher trim level, which would have the ventilated as well. The Ultimate Calligraphy would have the ventilated seats in the top line. So heated seats, and again, you can adjust your temperature here, and you can adjust where the airflow comes. So you can see that, which is kind of nice. If you don't want your rear passengers playing with this, you can lock them out. But what's nice is legitimately it's coming from above and below. So below the seats down there, but also if you check the vents over here, you can see there's a ceiling vent, and there's not just the one there. Let's keep going along the back of the car. Also, the third row seats do have vents in the ceiling. So you're controlling with your rear seat climate adjustments, you are controlling the entire rear of the vehicle, not just the middle row seats, which is kind of nice to have. So we're going to turn the whole system off. But yeah, nice little system, easy to work. And actually, this is a nicer location than on the ceiling, I think. Just a little easier to reach. So let's check the seats out here. While I'm in here, headroom is excellent. I could move this seat back a little further. I could really tilt it back and kind of just go full on recline. We're going to keep it at a nice logical spot, and I can move the seat forward like I am now. There's the most forward position. Even with it all the way forward, I still have enough room here, kind of similar to a Santa Cruz, maybe a hair more room than the Santa Cruz. But then, of course, the big advantage here is you can go all the way back and create a lot more legroom. So there's my knee room there, plenty of room for anything you would need. So really comfortable seat here. What I'm going to do is kind of put this to a comfortable medium position, which I think gives the rear seat some space and also the front seat some space. So here's where I'm at for knee room right now. We're going to hop into the third row seat in a second after we check out the trunk space, just because we did have some question about, how big are those third row seats. So let's just find out right now. All right, jumping in here. Let's just pop the tailgate here. There we go. Again, dirty vehicle. It is what it is. Coming down here, I'm going to take these car mats out for a second. We'll leave them right over there. And you've got some underfloor storage here. And this one does have the cargo blind. So that cargo blind can be hidden below the floor. And then unlike some of the other vehicles that we have, where the jack takes up space down in this area, it's up front there. So you do have a full across the floor, underfloor storage area, which is kind of nice. And then, of course, you have the seats here, which in this case, there's no strap on them. So what are we going to do? Well, we're going to raise them like this. Third row seats, we're going to go left side, we're going to bring it up. So I'm hitting that button, and you can see them coming up here. Personally, I'm a big fan of this because, as you guys know, I have a bit of a funny back, and this is not an issue for my back. So we're going to bring it all the way up. And what do I have to do with the headrest? I got to raise it manually. So let's do the other side now. So again, same thing. I'm going to press this button here to put it up, and we'll just take a look over here. This one ready, pressing the button right now. And you can see it instantly comes up, reacts instantly, which is kind of nice. A little slower than doing it manually, but of course, no actual physical work involved. And again, the Telluride doesn't have this. So if you're looking at Palisade, even on this luxury trim, which is a little less expensive than the top line Telluride, no version of the Telluride has this. So there we are. They're fully up. That is where they are. We can also, if we wanted to put the front row seats down or the middle row seats down, we could do that with these second row buttons right here. There's a 12-volt port there as well. So instead of checking trunk space with Teddy Bear, we'll leave those up for a second, and let's just check rear seat space with me. All right. So to get in here, pretty simple. I'm going to press this button right here. and the whole seat drops and goes forward. Now you can get it to go just an inch or two more forward if they had that seat a little further forward. What's interesting here is you have a full proper step here with some grip. There's some dirt there. And you also have another step up here. So if you have little kids climbing up, are a couple steps. I don't need both those steps. So I'm just gonna show you as I get in here. It's pretty simple to get in and to sit down. So what we've got here is, well, let's just jump right over. Remember we sort of split the difference in the two seats? So the seat here in front of me, we did move a little bit forward to create some room in the back seat. I'm 6 feet sitting in the driver's seat. We still had, several inches of legroom there. And I still have several inches, well, a few inches of legroom here. The only difference with the third row seat is what I like to do is have my butt sort of flat on the seat. The seats are a little shorter, so you can see they only go, instead of coming out to here, they're a little shorter there. And my knees are raised as opposed to flat on the seat. It is certainly more spacious in here than something like the Sorento. It is a bigger vehicle. This is the only 3-row option you have from Hyundai, so you don't get minivan type class in here. But you do have some nice things here. Right here are some buttons. Let's play with those. That reclines it, brings it too far forward, and brings it all the way back. So now I'm reclining extra far back, which does make it quite comfortable here. So you can recline or adjust. Maybe I'll just show you those. Actually, we'll just flip it around this way here. So these are the same type of buttons that just allow you to recline or bring it further up. And then there's a USB port on either side of the vehicle. So your rear seat passengers, everybody but the middle person would have plenty of, or would have a USB port. So there is a middle row seat back here. That's gonna be child only because it is narrow and small. But legally you can take one and it works out just fine. So now we've got one seat recline, one seat forward. We're gonna climb out of here again. And as we do that, quite easy to get out even for an adult. I'm not super limber anymore, but it works. So again, you can just see the difference as we came across here and you can see those differences there. So now let's put those seats down by pressing the button down. And you do have to hold, oh no, you don't have to hold it. I thought you had to hold the buttons. So one little thing here is, let's put this one down here. I don't lower the headrest because there's nothing I need to do. So as we lower this, I held it for a second and then it automatically flops that headrest down. And then you've got the ability to just keep it dropped down. So we'll watch that fall down there. We'll grab our teddy bear for the teddy bear trunk space. And of course the Palisade is very large and it is easily a 2 teddy bear trunk, 2 teddy bear plus, without a whole lot of difficulty. It is just a very large trunk in this vehicle. And that's kind of what you expect for an 8-passenger larger SUV. Although when we compare to the really large SUVs, something like the, the GM family, like the Yukon or something like that, GMC Yukon, this is a smaller footprint on the outside, but it is probably as large and as comfortable on the inside. So really good advantage there. Tows 5,000 pounds, which is pretty good for our lineup. And yeah, just kind of a nice feature there. So let's jump back again. We're gonna take your questions. I do wanna show you lighting on this vehicle, so we'll leave Teddy Bear in there for now. You know what, I better pull Teddy Bear out because I have a tendency of forgetting Teddy Bear, and then he'll be at the wrong dealership when we need to do our video tomorrow. All right, so let's leave that there. What I'm gonna do now is there's several ways to open and close the trunk. What I'm gonna do, whoops, let me flow around here. This time what I'm gonna do is hold this down. If I hold that button down, eventually, oh, because the car's on, I gotta turn the car off. So I left the vehicle in the on position. So, oh boy, come on, where's the button? There we go. There we go, car is now, oops, now it's on. Now it's off, there we go. So the vehicle is now off. And if I wanted to close the trunk, what I could do is just hold down the trunk button right there, and you'll see that it starts to beep and comes down. And pretty simple, so you've got the power close. Now, the one thing you can do is you can approach this vehicle with the key in your hand, and just by the key fob being near the trunk, it would beep 5 times in 3 seconds after a second or so, and then without touching anything, without waving your foot underneath the dash, you can set that tailgate to rise automatically. So it can sense the proximity of the key. That's something you can turn on or turn off. It's not currently turned on in this car, but you do have the option of just literally approaching the vehicle with the key in your pocket. Don't touch anything, just wait there for a second or two, and it'll start beeping and open up like that. So it is another way to get into the cargo area. Let's just show you lighting now, and then we'll take questions from there. So turn the car back to the on position. Come on, oh, there we go. So I'm gonna go full headlighting on, and I'm gonna go left side signal. So you have mirror mirror lights in this. Now, usually it's a single line across. That's almost always what they do, but the Palisade does it differently. You have a light in here, and then you have a unique shape up there where the whole thing lights up. Gives you a little extra frontal signal as well as the rear, and just sort of a signature. It is LED in both those. And then you have these proper sort of projector style lights. They are very dirty right now, but that doesn't matter. Really bright, sharp cutoff. And then you have what looks like it's flickering right now. It doesn't flicker in real life. It's sort of a single piece. It looks like a single piece, but obviously it's two pieces there of daytime running light. The nice thing with the Palisade is when you're driving at night, you have excellent headlighting. So really sharp cutoff, nice wide, nice and bright. Just works really, really well. It looks yellowy on this wall. To my eyes, it's as white as can be. So it's just the way the camera films that bright, bright light. And then coming back here, you have taillight elements right there. And built into those taillight elements is the amber signal light. So not everything has an amber signal light anymore. Down there are your reverse lights only. And that's sort of the way it works. So we're at the 30-minute mark. We were searching for, I don't know how many likes we were searching for. We got 88 people on. So if you haven't left a like yet, feel free to leave one. I'm going to take your questions now, and then we'll wrap this one up as well. So let me just see what we've got for questions. I'm back on the computer. Okay. We need Teddy merch and jackets. You know what? We talked about getting jackets for if you guys actually do want to buy one. I don't know if we'll do that or not, but we talked about it, so we'll see. Palisade Telluride give you more third row space than what? Oh, yes, more than a Sorento for sure. Yes. I think yesterday we did the Telluride versus Sorento. Telluride and Palisade are going to be very similar in practical space. I don't know how they measure the liters of space, but practical space is going to be the same. We did throw Teddy Bear in both, and you'll be able to compare that. So that was yesterday's video. If you want to just jump back on the timeline here on our homepage, you'll be able to find that. Does the luxury trim, I think you meant have ambient lighting? I don't believe the luxury trim does. I think that's only the Ultimate Calligraphy. We'll go check that in a second here. What else we go? Do you know how to keep the air circulation on in my US 2020 Palisade Limited? Doesn't let me keep the circulation button on while the AC is off. Generally speaking, you want to let the auto setting do it on figure things out on their own. You can set it to turn on. I don't know how to explain it so much, but generally speaking, let the auto system work on its own because sometimes it's recirculating that air for a reason. Keep in mind it has the filter and the ion filter in there. But yeah, I can show you how to work it. I might do a video on how to work some of our climate system in the future, just because there's been a few questions on there, and it's probably easier to sort that out for you. Okay. What else we got? When am I back? Oh yeah, so you can get people to flip the seats. Didn't do that. Okay. All right. Are the memory seats tied to the driver and driver 1 and driver 2 settings? I don't think so, but if you want to try it, let's find out right now. Depends on the car. So usually on the newer vehicles, it can be. I don't believe, and now I say newer vehicles, what I mean is that Palisade came out as like a 2019, 2020 type vehicle. And the 2022 vehicles are newer vehicles. It just has a little bit newer technology. So I don't think so, but let's find out. So here's how we'll do it. So I'm going to put the seat uncomfortably far back. Just give me a second here as I'm moving the seat uncomfortably far back. I'm going to turn my signal light off here. I'm going to turn the headlights off as well. Okay, so the seat is far back and I'm leaning uncomfortably far back. And we're going to set that up now as driver 1. So set and driver 1. Now we are in the guest mode. So let's just see here. When we switch over to the driver 1, change user. It may not have been set up yet, but let's just see. Confirm. Oops, you're not seeing what I'm doing here. Switching profile. Oops, still trying to show you. Switching profile. Hello, so it's the first run. So let's just start it up as if we were doing this. This is how you set it up. We're not going to rename it right now. Sure, we'll do that. Okay, so driver 1 profile. Okay, so now we're at driver 1, and it's just going to default to where the seat was. But okay, so at the guest mode, where we had it, the seat's uncomfortably far back. So now let's put the seat uncomfortably far forward for me so we can definitely see the difference. We'll just go, yeah, this is not comfortable at all because I'm way too far forward. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna save this, oops. We're gonna save this as driver 1 here, right? So set driver 1. So now the driver 1 setting for driver 1 in the screen is uncomfortably forward. And if we go back to the guest mode, change user, go back to guest, hit confirm. It did not change. So that is, I think, what goes on right here. It did not change, which I think makes sense. This generation of vehicle, the seats are not tied to the memory seating. So what that means is if you have this setting and that setting, now I may have done that wrong. Maybe I had to go driver 1, driver 2. I don't know. I'll have to play with it and do another video, but I think that's consistent with what I believe to be true. This vehicle does not have it tied together. The Kia K5, which came out after the Sonata, was the first one I saw where it did start changing things. Santa Cruz doesn't have memory seats. Tucson does, so we'd have to try it on a Tucson because that would be the latest version of some of those technologies. And then again, chip shortages also play into this. I think the reason the Santa Cruz doesn't have memory seats is because they were trying to get that vehicle out during a chip shortage, and that might change features as well. So there's a lot playing into that, but I don't believe on the Palisade you can switch the user mode in the computer and have the seat switch. So we tried it, and there we go. A couple more questions and we'll quickly go out. There's 95 of you on right now, so if you want to get to 95 likes, I'm cool with that. Feel free to hit the like button and do that. Do all Hyundai models have the V in the headlight cutoff line on the wall? Yeah, so people are complaining about this, but this is all about meeting standards. Let me just show you what we're talking about here. There's a little dip in the V there, and if you drive down the road, that dip is right in the driver's line of sight coming towards you. I don't know why people think this is a big deal. The reason that they pass the safety standards is because it has some of that precision control there. It has to have light in some areas and no light in other areas. It is not an accident that all of these vehicles, and not just Hyundai vehicles, that all of them have that. So it does have that little V in there. And like I said, it's all about reducing glare on previous drivers. So a lot of people have that. So, all right, there we go. Where are we here? I like the body style of the Telluride better than this one. I'm going, yep, body style is going to be one reason to choose one over the other. All right, so, and that's, I think, it. So we're going to leave it there, guys. We hit 99 people on, and you bunch jumped off right now. That's cool. Thanks for another video. Thank you. And is this the top trim and how much? So no, it's not the top trim. This is one step down from the top trim. I'll show you the MSRP on this. The top trim is the ultimate calligraphy. And, you know, people always ask me my opinion. My opinion shouldn't matter to what you buy. You should buy what's best for you. But there's the MSRP of this. The ultimate calligraphy is the top version. And for me, there wouldn't be a whole lot of reason for me to move from this to that. There are reasons, and we've done videos on that, and you can decide if that's best for you. But for the way I like, this is all the luxury SUV I need. I would like that second sunroof, but other than that, this is probably everything I would need in there. So it just depends on what you think is worth it for you. All right, guys, thanks for joining us today. We will be back tomorrow with Kia product. Have not decided on that, so feel free to reach out to me if you want to let me know what you want to have. There'll be a link in the description where you can email me. It's best to probably just reach out on my Instagram, though, if you want to suggest videos. Instagram is Peter_Hyundai_channel. So Peter Kia Hyundai channel. Reach out to me on Instagram if you have a suggestion for tomorrow, and we'll do that. And yeah, thanks everybody for joining us. We'll talk to you again tomorrow.